Tonight, live from the Artisan Studio at Brucemore, we are delighted to have a very special original production titled Bury Me, written by Grant Freeman and directed by Jennifer Smith.
I have always loved the taste of Jim Beam. Dad kept enough bottles of the stuff lying around the house. It was pretty easy to skim a fourth or so off the top. Sure, after I got home from the Gulf, I could afford the good stuff. But it was not the same. Taste cannot be affected by money. Every sip of the stuff, there is a mixture of nostalgia and regret. It's a drink you have to punish yourself into enjoying. Drinking Jim Beam was a constant reminder that I was drinking away borrowed time. Borrowed time, hence me starting this note this way. I have been living on borrowed time for 3 decades, and I have not regretted a minute of it. I got to raise my sister while seeing my other sister live out her dreams. I got to work with my hands, give back to the earth that I spent my early life destroying. I got to be an uncle, and I think I did a pretty decent job at it. Even in these past few years, as the tumors spread, I have enjoyed my life. But before the tumors, something else was spreading. A hollowness that has lived inside of me for a long, long time. You see, war does something to you. Even if you are just following orders, even if there was no other choice, it builds a hole in your soul, one that no amount of Jim Beam can ever fill. Yes, they were the enemy, but they were also our brothers, born in another land, with another religion, in another tongue, but our brothers nonetheless. And killing your own family takes its toll. War is not just fought with guns, but with words, with distance, with loss. And so I leave this to you, Andy and Izzy. Mend your fences. Do not let another second go by without resolving the division between you. You are sisters. You are kin. I know why it started. I know why it continues. But I am telling you, let it go. Just talk to each other. I know you think I am a coward. I know you think this is the easy way out. But hell, if it gets the two of you in the same room together. We used to joke, the only time the three of us would be in a room together was at one of our funerals. Please enjoy mine for me. After a long battle, I go now to be with my brothers. I can only hope they welcome me.
He signed my photograph. I got his autograph. I don't know why you're laughing at me.
Hey, didn't you see the buzzer go off?
I saw.
And?
And I was busy in the kitchen. I figured you'd find I left the door unlocked for you.
I went by the funeral home before coming here. Looks like he took care of everything before.
Yes, he was very thorough before.
Always was. Anyway, looks like he took care of the place pretty well, assuming that the boxes are yours and not his.
No, I mean, yes, they're mine. I figured you wouldn't mind if I got started. He didn't do everything ahead of time.
I see. Speaking of houses, yours is looking beautiful.
How would you know?
What do you mean?
You've never even been inside. How can you tell it's looking beautiful?
I meant from the outside. I love the yellow flowers out front. What are those called?
Oh, lotus flowers. Yellow's the only kind that grows in North America. And well, they're for Mom.
That makes sense. Well, the outside of your house looks beautiful.
And, well, what about your house? Still rolling around on 8 wheels?
You didn't know? I finally traded in Big Betty. I loved the caravan life. But there comes a point where you should establish some sort of roots somewhere.
No, you didn't tell me.
Well, anyway, I took 4 old shipping containers and covered the outside with wood to take away the steel feeling. It's amazing what you can do with repurposed wood nowadays. It's a nice little cabin outside of Saratoga Springs.
Saratoga Springs? New York? So that's how you saw Joe.
What?
Joe told me you two had coffee last year. So you found the time to go to Albany?
To the university. Yeah, definitely. Joe and I got coffee. Thought it might be nice to catch up after all these years. That's why I assumed you knew I was living there.
Now, she told me she saw you, not where you were living. I just assumed that you had given up writing about the South and had, well, turned east.
No, you can't ever give up writing about the South. Anyway, do you remember when you came out and saw the Grand Canyon with me?
Yeah, it was grand.
So where's Joe? I expected she'd come back for the funeral.
Yeah, her flight got in an hour ago. I told her I'd drive down to Cincinnati to pick her up, but she insisted that Allie was coming to get her.
Who's Allie?
Her best friend from high school? Well, not that you'd know.
Okay. Can't we just get through a little small talk without fireworks?
I don't do small talk. Another thing you should know.
I do know. But you and I don't really do any talk, so I figured small talk would at least get us through the morning without a volcano erupting.
Hey, who are you calling a volcano?
I'm not calling anyone a volcano, but us, you and me together, tend to get volcanic.
Oh, I wonder whose fault that is.
Oh, fuck off. You wanted me here, I'm here.
I
I
didn't-
filled that end of the bargain.
I didn't want you anywhere. Paul did.
What?
The will?
What about it?
That's what he wanted.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember the old driver's education teacher who lived down the block from Mom's house?
Mr. Delphin? The one with the giant mustache who looked like an old cartoon character? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Well, his son's a lawyer in town, and
Oh, well, fuck me. Ryan Delphin is a lawyer? Oh, kid could hardly read.
you knew him?
Yeah, we hooked up a few times down off Old Four Corners. He always liked how I, talked with my hands. Liked a few other things I could do with my hands, too.
That's disgusting. And trust me, I know plenty about what you could do with your body parts.
Really? How?
You're joking, right? After you left, that's all people could talk about. how half of the basketball team had to go somewhere else now that the town's deaf slut left.
They called me that?
Yeah, you insulted?
Fuck no. That's a badge of pride. And it wasn't just the basketball team.
Anyway, so, Ryan. That's why you gave him that sign name. Anyway, Ryan is a lawyer now, and apparently he was Paul's lawyer.
Well, fuck. Crazy how things change.
And how they stay the same.
So, what about this will?
Ryan, will show it to us after the funeral. But supposedly, Paul stipulated that we get the house, the full inheritance, but both of us have to be present.
What do you mean, supposedly?
What?
What do you mean, supposedly? Haven't you seen the video?
Well, no, but I believe Ryan. He is a lawyer. Plus, he said he'd give it to us, that being me and you, after the funeral.
Paul really did think of everything.
Yeah, he really did. Sent the video over to the law office 2 months ago.
Really? Well, he was suffering. He knew it was coming.
What? Nothing was coming. He shot himself.
Are you mad at him?
Like you aren't?
Because he shot himself? Fuck no. That illness was eating his insides. No one should be forced to live through something like that.
How would you know?
How would I know what?
How would you know it was that bad?
Because he fucking told me. Like, what are you actually asking? I did talk to my brother.
How? When? How much?
All the fucking time. We had a standing coffee meeting of sorts. Every few weeks, we'd hop on Zoom and talk about life. We talked less towards the end. I assume that's because he didn't want me to see him suffering.
Well, he never told me.
I'm sure he didn't. What I had with Paul was personal. None of your business. You could have made it your business if you bothered to ever reach out.
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Oh, fine. Let's get out our phones.
No, you don't. No, we don't need to do that.
No. If you're going to call me a bad sister...
I didn't say that.
Now, let's go over the facts. Well, there's one call 3 days ago when I told you to get your ass back here. Then, scrolling. Oh, look at that. The last time you called was Christmas 4 months ago.
And when was the last time you called me?
I called you on your birthday like always, but you didn't even have time to pick up. Probably off running around with your nomad friends.
They're just called friends. Yes, some of them are nomadic, but we don't go around calling ourselves nomadic friends. Anyway, I didn't think you wanted to hear from me. That's why I didn't call.
I didn't want to hear from you, but it would have been nice to hear from you anyways.
What kind of double standard is that?
Oh, you are the older sibling. You are the one who left. And you're the one who should be making the fucking calls.
Whoa. Didn't know you started cursing.
I didn't. I don't. I must just be imitating you.
You know I don't like being here, but if you want me to call, I'll call more.
I don't want you to call. I want you to want to call. Look, I cleared out your old bedroom. He kept a bed up there for some reason. Maybe expecting you'd use it one day.
No, he knew I never would.
Anyway, you can drop your stuff off up there. I made a casserole. We can get to the boxes after the funeral.
Casserole sounds nice, but I'm probably just gonna go get some sleep. Long drive and all. I already checked into my hotel room. Just wanted to make sure you knew I got here.
You got a hotel room?
I don't want to talk about it.
You have a room here. Why are you always so difficult?
I'm not. I just figured I'd give you some space.
You would. I'm going back to my house. You would have the place all to yourself.
It's not my home.
Yes, it is. Even if you ran away from it, it's still where you grew up.
No, it's where you grew up. I just had to live here.
Why is it whenever I bring up this house, you get all pissed off?
I don't.
You do. Yes, you do. Whenever I bring up what King did for us.
Don't call him that.
What? That was his name.
No, it fucking wasn't.
Well, it's what we called him.
Uncle Carl's name was Carl, not King.
I get why you hate him, but I still love King and what King did for us. I mean, after Mom and Dad died, even though he left too, he still helped raise us, got us set up for school. You know, right before he left, he set up a trust fund for me. That's how I got to go to college. He even set up money for if I ever had a kid. Paul told me, set aside enough money for each of us. I'm just the only one who decided to procreate. And your niece is going to that fancy university, all because of King.
Carl.
Fine, Uncle Carl.
How is it you don't hate him? All these years and you still cling to the stupid, childish notion that he loved us. If he loved us, why did he leave? What?
How dare you ask that? Of all people, you have no right to say anything.
No, it is not the same.
What are you talking about? It is exactly the same.
I am nothing like Uncle Carl.
Fine, if you want to have it out, let's have it out. I was 5 when Mom and Dad died. 5 years old with no one to look after me. My older sister was going through her own shit, so I couldn't turn to her.
I was 9. How was I supposed to just become an adult?
That's the point. You weren't. So, in stepped King. He wasn't perfect, but he tried. That's what Mom always said about him. He tried and he failed, but he would always try again.
I don't want to rehash this.
Why? I'm just answering your question.
Because it happened to me too. I don't need a fucking history lesson about my own life.
Oh, well, the first few years were rough. Paul went away to the army, and King tried his best but had no idea how to raise two girls who spoke a different language.
Stop. Just stop it.
No, you wanted an answer, so just sit there and let me answer.
This isn't a novel. We don't need you to give an exposition of our lives.
Oh, it isn't? Are you sure it isn't one of your little travel books? Well, my name pops in there often enough that I should demand residuals. But the stories you write are always a little off. Like you get into the truth and then just go off into lies.
No, they aren't lies. It's memoir writing. I embellish a little to try and make it interesting.
Well, perfect. Well, let me embellish a little and finish my story. So, there we were, alone, together. And what did King do? He took night classes to learn sign. All of a sudden, we had a parent again. Yes, and he used his financial money to put you in that high school, and you became super popular for obvious reasons.
Are you saying I became popular because I slept around?
Well, didn't you?
I became popular because I was nice. And I also slept around. What? It was a deaf high school in the early 90s. There wasn't much else to do, so I listened to rock and roll. And screwed a few jocks. And if you're going to tell the story, you might as well tell the whole story. Mom and Dad were loaded. Uncle Carl didn't put his financial money into our lives. He just managed his inheritance well.
Well, fine, but he managed it well. Everything was going great. Paul came home, and we helped him get back on his feet after the bombing. We finally had a full family. And then King left. Why? I'll never know. There's nothing quite like waking up on your 13th birthday with a note that says, well, I've gone away for a while. And I know it crushed you. I know it broke you deep inside to be abandoned like that, and I really cared how you felt. But did you even once bother to try and see what I was going through? No. Instead, 3 months later, 1 semester away from your diploma, you left. You just up and left. I didn't even get a note. No note, just Paul saying you needed to leave.
I did.
Well, good for you. I needed you to stay. How hard was it to be a big sister and stay? That's all I needed from you, and you left.
So why do you still love Uncle Carl?
Well, because if I don't, I can't make sense of why I still love you. Mom and Dad died. Uncle Carl left. You left. My husband left. My daughter Jo left for college. And even though he had more years left in him, Paul leaves. I'm the one who gets left.
Izzy.
No, I don't want to hear it. I'm tired. And you're tired. Just go back to your hotel room. Just leave. The funeral is at 1. Joe and I will meet you at the funeral home about noon. I doubt there will be a ton of people, but I know a few of his army buddies are coming and a bunch of his friends from the auxiliary. Got it?
What about the boxes?
Just go. We'll deal with the boxes after. Okay?
Okay. Good flight?
As good as flights go, I guess.
Where's your mom?
Already at the funeral home. She expects me there in a little bit.
Yeah. She doesn't expect me there until noon.
I wonder why. She told me about your fight last night. Anybody throw any punches?
No, not this time, but Izzy definitely came after me.
Wow. Who saw that coming?
Very funny. Your sarcasm is dripping off of you.
I thought you agreed you were going to bury the hatchet.
I was trying. I even engaged in small talk.
Mom hates small talk.
I know. She mentioned something else. That we had met for coffee.
Yeah, I might have let that one slip a little. It's hard to lie to Mom.
I never wanted you to lie to her.
Yeah, just not tell her. I know.
Exactly. And I assume she thinks it's just been a couple of times.
Yes, Auntie. Although, this cloak and dagger bullshit is stupid.
I know. And you haven't told her the other thing?
What? No, of course not. Although I think it would bring you closer together.
Oh, to be young and naive. It would drive us even farther apart. Your mother's never taken a handout in her life.
Yeah, she did take a handout. She just thinks it's from Carl.
Better let her keep on believing that.
What, another lie? And a bad one at that. Oh, what did Uncle Paul say? Remember the time Carl put away money for your college? Well, he also put away the exact cost of the University of Albany tuition and board for the duration of school without me telling you. For the past 2 decades, a little far-fetched.
She believes it because she wants to.
Does she at least know you're the one who paid her tuition?
No, that really was Carl.
Auntie, I'm naive, but not stupid. It doesn't take a genius to work out what you did for me, you did for her. She'll figure it out someday whether you tell her or not.
No, she won't. Your Uncle Paul was her hero. She'd believe anything he said. How are you doing with all of this? Are you mad at your uncle?
I mean, kind of. Aren't you, even a little?
No.
I'm not mad at him as myself, but I'm mad for Mom. She has the right to be mad.
No, she doesn't. No one does.
I don't think we have the right to dictate how another person feels.
I do. Because I know something you don't.
What?
People think the universal language is love. It's what created the greeting card industry, what makes Hallmark successful. It's what drives Valentine's Day. No matter your culture, your nationality, your skin color, your gender, love is felt by everyone. Therefore, it's the universal language. It's a nice thought, but it's wrong. Love is too complicated to be universal. It's not just that we all feel it differently, but that love itself has become so corrupted by how we should feel rather than how we do feel.
That's pretty cynical, Auntie. And how does that relate to Uncle Paul?
Love isn't the barometer for all human emotion. Pain is the universal language. The look of pain is universal, no matter what language you speak. Sign included, sign especially. You, my dear, have never really felt pain. Sure, you've had your heart broken by that boy during sophomore year. Yes, shocking. I remember things too. And you've had literal pain, like when you snapped your collarbone twice. But not this kind of pain. Pain is universal because the longer you live, the more likely you are to experience it. All human beings blessed to live long enough will experience real pain. Pain so deep, it breaks your soul apart. Pain so all-encompassing that it hollows you out. Your Uncle Paul knew pain, not just from the cancer, but from a lifetime of knowing. He fought pain for as long as he could, and when he finished his fight, it was on his own terms. Pain doesn't deserve to win.
I don't know what to say. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I also think Mom has the right to be angry. Isn't there something to be said that we don't just live for ourselves? We live for those we love.
I think we love those we love. We love with all of our hearts. Yeah, but in the end, we can only live for ourselves. Take your mom, for example. From all you've told me, and admittedly the little I've seen, she was a great mom growing up. She lived for her daughter. But when you went off to college, she didn't curl up and die. She got a new job. She keeps a beautiful home, from the outside at least. She helped Uncle Paul make it as long as he did. In fact, this isn't the first time your uncle contemplated finishing his fight. We talked about it. Your mom's love bought her another 2 years.
But he could have lived another 2 years.
But in deep, deep pain. Your mother should understand she knows pain better than the rest of us. I caused a lot of it.
Yes, which is why it's time to slowly, I'll admit slowly, mend that pain. Mom wants to, I know. I can tell. She's belligerent and dismissive. But deep down, all she wants is her sister. Especially now that Paul's gone. Hey, I know you don't have anything writing-wise for a while. Why don't you just come back here for a little bit? I know you want to.
I can't be here, but she's more than capable of coming to the cabin. I can give her your room.
It's not my room.
It's the room you stay in when you come and visit. Therefore, it's your room.
Why can't you just stay here just for a little bit?
My home is the open road. I've loved spending so much time with you these past 4 years. But once you've graduated, I'm back to traveling most of the year. I love your mom. It may not look like love, but it is. And I know if I was here, I'd drive her more insane than if I wasn't. It's one thing to be alone. It's worse to be alone together. But what about you? Have you made a decision about after graduation?
You know what I'm going to say.
I do, but I keep hoping you'll change your mind. What does that boyfriend of yours think?
He doesn't hate the idea. What? Jordan can be a physical therapist anywhere. And he's happy if the city has a hockey team. He's ready to be a Blue Jackets fan.
You have the whole world in front of you. Why come back here?
I want to keep doing the work I did in high school, just now with a social work degree. We've made so many inroads into the community. So many people feel like they have a voice now. I can make a difference here. Plus, I can help Mom now that Paul's gone.
You want to come back for the community? Okay, but don't do it for your mom. She's a big girl. She can handle herself.
You don't know her like I do.
That's true. We should get going. How would Uncle Paul feel if we were late?
You wear a watch for a reason. Are you gonna miss him?
Every day, kid. Every day. What time did he say he would be here?
Ryan said he would drop off the video in the morning.
Was he more specific about the time?
No, he just said sometime in the morning. Why are you so anxious?
I'm not. Paul was never one to be late, so I like things on a schedule.
Since when? I don't think I've ever seen you show up on time for something.
I like things on a schedule so I can determine my own schedule around them.
What do you want with this box?
What's in it?
It looks like a lot of clothes, but not men's clothes.
It's our costume storage.
It's our magic costume storage.
Excuse me?
Your mother and I used to perform a magic double act.
Yeah, I was the assistant, but also the funnier part.
They laughed at you because you were a kid.
No, they laughed because I was funny.
Hold on. You two did magic together?
Well, yes, don't we look like magicians?
When did this happen?
It happened after Mom and Dad died, and we both started at the school.
Yeah, I was 8 and your aunt would have been 12. We performed once for
the all-school talent show, and then it stuck. We did shows all over at local nursing homes.
Yeah, we performed a bunch for the outreach center you worked at in high school.
Mm-hmm. How did it work?
Oh, well, we had this boy. He was a CODA. And he would interpret for us whenever we weren't with an all-deaf crowd.
Yeah, his name was Timothy. Oh, he wore these Coke bottle glasses and a bow tie. No matter the outfit, always a bow tie.
So, one of us would talk while the other did the trick and then switch. Tim had this great talent for voices.
Or so he told us.
And he would do both our voices.
The whole thing was typically around 20 minutes, and we did a dozen or so tricks.
Can you do one for me?
Oh, I I don't know. It's been so long.
Oh, try, please.
Rabbit.
You've seen the Great Pyramids of Egypt. You've climbed the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. You've even been to the supermarket at closing when all the weirdos come out. But you have never seen the superb sights of Andy the Amazing.
With her sidekick, Izzy the Incredible. Now, for my first trick, I'll need a volunteer from the audience. Any takers? Yes, young lady. Come right up.
Oh, this is so exciting. I never get picked for anything.
Well, today is your lucky day because you're going to help me pull a rabbit out of a hat.
Oh, I've always wanted a rabbit.
I know. First, you must inspect the magical hat.
Inspected. No holes anywhere.
Next, you must look at the magic wand.
Looked and ready to believe.
Then, on the count of 1, 2, 3.
But what happened?
We didn't say the magic words.
Of course, the magic words. What are the magic words?
Should we say them together?
We should, yes. But wait. What does our assistant have to say? Timothy?
Then, as she interviewed Timothy, I would run and put the toy rabbit under a chair in the front row.
Always quick, Timothy. Now, let's say the magic words.
Ears of fur, nose of carrot. Rabbit, rabbit, appear and share it.
He's nowhere to be found.
I guess the trick didn't work.
Oh, but wait, silly. Rabbits don't come out of hats.
No?
No, they appear under chairs.
Oh, and we'd grab the rabbit and everyone would clap.
Everyone would clap.
Yeah, we were good together.
Yeah. Back then. We should get back to work. Oh, I thought I'd lost this.
Where
What?
did you get that?
What is it?
This was my princess tiara.
I said, where did you get that?
You just saw me pull it out of the box. Crazy much?
I destroyed that.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I lit it on fire.
Oh, you mean your purge. No, you lit yours on fire. This one's mine.
Purge?
Andy, about a month or so before she left, took all her clothes out into the yard and lit them on fire.
Why?
Because she wanted a fresh start. At least that's what she said. Well, she certainly got one when she abandoned us.
Give that to me.
No, it's mine.
What is it?
Well, King...
Carl.
Uncle King gave them both to us when we were kids, shortly after he had come to live with us. This was before he had learned sign language. So we would play a little game called Castle. King loved fantasy stories, so we would play Castle. we would be the princesses, and, well, he would be the king. We'd act out different roles so that he could learn what the signs were, and that's how he started learning to speak. We tried doing it again when your Uncle Paul came back, but he needed language a bit more advanced than, well, knights and dragons.
Can I ask an ignorant question?
Oh, sweetie, I doubt it will be ignorant.
What was it like growing up with Paul, before?
You mean before he lost his hearing?
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to answer?
You go first.
Well, it was different. I was fairly young when Uncle Paul shipped off to the army, and so we weren't very close. The age gap didn't help with that either. And when he came back after the bombing, he lost his hearing gradually. So, in a way, it was fun. He helped raise me, and I helped teach him language. I think it really brought us closer together.
As you know, your mom and I were born deaf, so there was always this cultural divide between us and Paul. But perhaps because he had his sisters, he adapted pretty well once he came home. Your mom's the expert. Paul had only gone fully deaf for about 5 months when I left.
He was sad a lot to begin with. He and Uncle King didn't get along very well. I think King didn't like having another man in the house, and so, well, Paul would sit in his room most days with bandages covering his ears.
Yeah, but he had us. And after I left, he had your mother. Despite all the things I could say about her, your mom is an excellent listener.
Well, you were a decent one too.
We just never learned to listen to each other.
Depression is hard, as you well know with your community outreach work in our culture. Depression is the loudest silence. It is all encompassing. And for someone who's transitioning, I can't even imagine.
It was really hard on him. We talked about it later in life, but he was eternally grateful that he had Izzy. I think they kind of saved each other.
He said that to you?
Mm-hmm. On more than one occasion.
I'll get it.
Well, thank you for telling me that.
You're welcome.
That was Mr. Delphin.
He didn't want to come in?
He's still scared of me.
What? No chance of that.
You didn't see him at the funeral. He was so kind and cordial with you, but then looked away so we couldn't talk when I was with him. I don't blame him. The things I could tell his wife.
Hey, enough of that. Joe, what did he say?
He dropped off the film and told me these instructions. I'm very sorry for your loss. Paul set this up with me a few months ago. He said to give you this video. This is the only copy, and he's the only one who has seen it. He has the options in writing to go over at his office once you make a decision. Please take your time.
I took my time with him.
Can't you be serious?
Sorry.
So, should we watch it?
I have had plenty of months to figure out what I was going to say on this recording. But I am seemingly speechless, and this is my 7th take. So, I am going to try something from the heart. All of the legalese details are written down in Ryan's office. He will have stuff for you to sign, or not sign, depending on your decision. So this is just the context to the boring words. Let us start with the important stuff. All of my finances are set up to go evenly to the 2 of you. Every penny, save for 2 extra requirements. First, I would like a small portion to go to the Veterans Fund at the auxiliary. And second, another portion that has been in CDs at the bank should Joe decide to return to graduate school. Who's kidding who? I am sure Joe is in the room watching this. Joe, this money was set aside for graduate school. But if you want to go to Europe, I will not begrudge you. Just please spend it on something that will enhance your life or your memories. The rest is split evenly between Andy and Izzy. Now we come to the house. The house is yours, plus the acreage in the back. And a few years ago, I bought a plot of land off 4 Corners. The goal was to build another garden. But then with the diagnosis, it never quite got there. That is yours as well. There is just one catch. You must decide what to do with the house together. If you sell, it requires 2 signatures. Same with living in it, redesigning, gifting, or anything else you can think of. This house holds a lot of power. So many memories are stacked upon the foundations. I think the 2 of you know this the most. Memories are not necessarily good, but all of them are ours. They have molded our own foundations. I'm betting this joint decision will make both of you pretty mad at me for different reasons. Well, I am dead, so luckily I won't have to feel your wrath. Trust me when I say I did it for the right reasons. Now to the personal. Izzy, I know you are furious with me. I know you think my decision is unforgivable. I know it will bring up terrible memories of Mom. Mom had lost her sanity, and I chose to do this while I still had mine. You were the best sister a brother could ask for. After the Army, when everyone else gave up on me, you stepped to my side when you weren't even a teenager. As the world grew quieter, my heart grew bigger. You have always thanked me for saving you, but it was you who saved me. In the last few years, I have been more aware of that than ever. Andy, I know you are sitting there anxious as ever. You don't need to be. This is a will, not a confession. I have cherished our connection over the years. It wasn't the same as with Izzy, who was present and engaged, but you and I both know it was deep. It was foundational. I think we understand each other better than any two siblings alive. Sorry, poor choice of words. I am grateful for it. Finally, to you both, heal. Say what you need to say. I know you both think you're protecting one another and yourselves, but you are only killing your connection, what little remains. I have loved 5 women in my life. Mother was gone far too soon, and Mary, well, God bless her, she was not waiting around for me. And that just leaves you 3. Because of you, I got to pretend to be a father, grow into being a big brother, and show, hopefully, what an uncle is supposed to be. I can't ask for anything else. Forgive each other. Love each other. And I bought you all watches for a reason. Always be on time.
I thought that was really beautiful.
What did he mean? This is a will, not a confession.
What?
You heard me. He mentioned you were anxious. I've never known you to be anxious, and then said that this is a will, not a confession. Andy?
What? He just wants me to apologize for leaving, and I'm sorry, but I've done that already. It's up to you to accept it.
Wow. As always, even now, can't even take responsibility for
Mom,
your
slow
actions.
down.
No, I won't. Even on the day we are saying goodbye to our brother and he is saying goodbye to us, you can't even accept your role.
I came home to bury our brother, not dig up the past. But if you want me to apologize again, I will. I'm sorry for leaving. Do you accept it?
No.
See?
Why can't the two of you stop being so pig-headed? Uncle Paul just asked you to heal, to forgive each other. We preach this all the time. Forgiveness is an opening up of oneself to another. Why can't you just open up instead of closing down?
Now, your Uncle Paul is dead. He doesn't get to say how we live our lives.
Andy?
Your mother's right. He doesn't. So let's just sell the house, spread his ashes, and I'll be on my way.
As always. I don't want to sell the house.
What? Why the hell not? You already have a house.
I know, but Jo is finishing school soon and she'll need a place to stay. And well, it's not like you need the money. You're already rich. Why not just give it to Jo? Help out your niece for once in her life.
Mom, that is far too much.
No, I won't give it to Jo.
What? You're not rich anymore? Need the money? Just once. Think about more than yourself.
I am. I know Jo wants to move back here after school, but if we give her this house, it will make her feel like she has to stay. She should be traveling, seeing the world, not stuck in Columbus.
Mom, it's a really lovely gesture.
Hold on. How do you know Jo wants to move back here? Oh. Did she tell you when the two of you got coffee?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You told me that was last year. You only decided to move back this semester. Wait, what is this?
Mom? Mom, I've seen Auntie Andy more than just one time.
I knew it! I knew it! The second you said you were living in New York, I knew something fishy was going on. So, you failed to be a sister, and now you want to try and be a parent to my kid?
Settle down. Settle down.
Mom, I'm sorry I didn't tell you, but Auntie has been really helpful.
Auntie? Just how well do you two know each other? Do you see her all the time? Does she have a room at your cabin?
She has stayed with me a couple of times.
Traitor. You did this behind
Mom,
my
I'm
back.
sorry.
No, she's not. It's not her fault. I made her promise not to tell you.
Yeah, fuck you.
If you're not willing to forgive me, at least I can have a relationship with the only niece I've got.
No. That's not your right. She is my daughter. Mine. Where were you the first 18 years of her life? Off gallivanting around the country, writing your stupid personal travel guides. And of course, they had to be bestsellers. You couldn't just disappear. You had to leave and become famous. All the girls at the community center all fawn over you, and here I have to pretend how proud I am of my big sister. Yeah. Sister. What a fake word. You are blood, nothing more. What have you ever done for me?
Mom?
Jo, don't. You promised.
Another promise behind my back again.
Mom, you need to know something. She paid for college.
What?
Uncle Carl didn't set aside money for me to go to college. Auntie Andy's paid for everything in full, and she paid for your college too.
No. King did.
Don't call him that.
King set aside money for me and for you to go to school. What lies has my sister filled your head with? What lies? Tell me, Joe.
They aren't lies. This is why I told you not to tell her.
I'm sorry.
Well, now that it's out, it might as well be fully out. You need to wake up and realize that Uncle Carl didn't give two shits about you. He left you. No reason, just left. Never an apology, never a word. Fuck him. So after my first book sold, Paul and I built a lie. You would never take a penny from me, but Uncle Carl, absolutely. So I took care of college. Like you said, I didn't need the money. I wanted to take care of my sister, even though she hated me, hated my choices. And then when Joe was graduating from high school, you remember, I said I couldn't come to graduation, but I was here, way in the back. Paul and I decided to sit down and tell Joe, yes, you could have afforded her university, but then you wouldn't have your nice little home with the yellow lotus flowers for Mom out front. So I took care of it again.
Well, I don't know what to say. My daughter lied to me. You lied to me. And Paul lied to me. Oh, I assume this is what he meant in his will. Not a confession. Well, he fucking failed. You all did. You know what, Andy? You want to make it up? Give me the house. Just sign it over to me. Give me the deed. I'll forgive Joe. She's my own daughter, after all, but I won't forget. You want to help out your niece? Give me the house to give to her. Then you can stay the fuck away from us.
Hey, whoa. Don't I get a say?
Not today.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I said no, and that's final. Either we sell it or burn it.
Burn it? Are you insane? Do you realize how much this house is worth? Paul redid all of the original flooring. What you're standing on is practically still new. He built a full garden, a patio, and a garage with his bare hands. You want to destroy that like everything else you set on fire? You're insane.
I said no. Go ahead and hate me. Hate me more than you already do, but there is no way that I will let Joe have this house. Over my dead body. Why can't you just see that this house is pain? Our drunk of a father died here, and our crazy mother killed herself here. That garage, the one he built with his bare hands, yeah, he also shot himself in the head out there. This is the house where I left you, abandoned you, where King, yes, King left you. He never gave a shit about you. He learned sign language because he felt guilty, and once he got the nerve again, he up and vanished. When will you stop this fantasy about him? The fantasy is gone, dead. It never existed. King hated you as much as you hate me.
Get the fuck out of this house.
Oh, I am fucking going.
Don't you dare step foot in here again. You don't want to sign the house
Fuck
over?
you.
Fine. I'll get a lawyer. Fuck you.
You do that. Fuck you.
Fuck off. That is who you were going behind my back to see?
Mom,
I can't believe you would do that. Not just take her money, but have a relationship with her without telling me.
I couldn't.
Yeah, because she told you not to tell me.
No. Because this would happen. The two of you are amazing in your own ways. But put you together, and you're impossible. I've never seen hatred like that.
I don't hate her.
Well, you have a funny way of showing it.
No, I don't hate her. It's the opposite, which is why this hurts so much more. She keeps finding ways to hurt me, and I still love her. It would be so much easier if I hated her. Then none of this would hurt. You know, right before she left, I had caught her over talking with Paul, and she said, I can't even look her in the eye anymore. That's how much she hated me. She couldn't even look at me.
You don't know that was even about you.
It was. She abandoned me, and she'll abandon you. That's just what she does. And now I don't know what to believe. She lied to me and hurt me again. You lied to me. Paul lied to me. And King apparently didn't care about me the way I thought. Is just my entire life just a lie?
I didn't lie to you. I just didn't tell you the whole truth.
Is that really the tactic you want to use here?
No. But can't you see it from my side?
Oh, what side?
Growing up, we saw Andy once a year, maybe once every other year. And every trip was magical. The Grand Canyon, the Everglades, Yellowstone. I loved it. The trip wasn't magical. She was.
Oh, and I'm nothing.
Mom, please, just let me speak. So we're getting closer to graduation. I get into my dream school. We can only really afford the first full year of tuition. That's when she reached out. She knew about your financial situation. She knew about your debt. And she knew if you offered, you'd refuse. I just wanted to go to college. So, I accepted the money. And then, a semester into school, she reached out. She said she bought a cabin about an hour from campus. Wanted to get coffee. I did tell you the truth about the first time we met. I just didn't tell you the rest. We became friends. She has all these connections and stories, and I couldn't help but find her magical again. But it wasn't just about her. She'd ask about you all the time and tell hundreds of stories from when you were kids. She was the most animated when talking about you. I wanted to get to know my aunt, and I wanted to better understand my mother. But that's it. Auntie Andy is my friend. She's my aunt. You're my mom. She's never tried to be more than that.
And you staying with her?
Yes, I've stayed up there a couple of times, but that's because I told my friends I had access to a cabin in the middle of the Adirondacks, owned by a writer they've all heard about. They wanted to go.
I guess that makes sense.
Mom, I didn't do this to hurt you. I wanted to help. You raised me on your own after my sperm donor of a father left. I knew her money would help, and I knew that I wanted to understand my family better. Can you blame me? I'm sorry.
I will forgive you eventually, but I'm just so lost now. Paul is dead, and Andy has found another way to hurt me, and so much of what I believed is a lie. But, yes, of course I'll forgive you. You're my daughter. You're my favorite person in the whole world, which is why this hurts so much more.
I'm sorry.
Please, just do me one favor. Be careful with her. She's hurt me. She'll hurt you.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
Looking for something?
Yeah.
I figured you'd sneak back in after it was dark.
I didn't sneak in. The door was unlocked.
I know. I'm not trying to argue.
Thank you. Where's Joe?
She's upstairs asleep.
Did you two talk?
Well, as in, did I forgive her? We talked. Yes. Forgiveness will take some time.
You should forgive her. It was my fault.
Oh. I know. Look, I appreciate what you did for me and for my daughter, and I will find a way to pay you back. You can have my half of Paul's inheritance for starters.
I don't want your money. Can't you see that's why I did it in the first place? I had money. I wanted to help my family.
You still want to help your family?
Yes.
Then give the house to Joe. If you give the house to Joe, I will find a way to accept your apologies. I will. I know it will take some time, but I will. You will have helped me. You will have helped your family. And we'll be square.
I can't.
Why? Why? Why is it you continue to find more and more ways to hurt me? Even when I'm giving out an olive branch, I'm trying the best I can.
If there was anything else, yes, but not the house.
Why? Please, just help me understand.
This is where we played castle.
What?
Castle. You know, the fairy tale game we played with Carl to teach him
king.
language? Don't.
Yeah, I remember. What about it?
You've always been good at listening. So that's what I need you to do now. Sit down and listen. I loved King. He was my hero. I was lost after Mom. He found me. He found me a new direction, a new sense of self. I loved playing castle. I loved helping him. But you never played the second part of the game.
The second part?
It was shortly after my birthday when King came to me and said, "Now we get to play the second part of Castle." I was confused. I was getting to the age where you were more likely to go to the mall than play dress up. He said, "The second part is where the princess becomes a queen." I asked him, "But how can I become a queen without a king?" He said, "You already have a king." And that's when he took me to his room. The first times hurt, But eventually, the physical pain became less and less. For those first 2 years, we played castle a lot. I lost track. I was distant from my friends, from you. You thought it was because of Mom. It wasn't. King would tell me that so much of his life was painful, and he needed someone to help him get through it. And like I said, I loved him. I wanted to help. But the older I got, the more I said no, the more he wanted to play castle. Then Paul came home. King didn't like having another man in the house, so we stopped playing. But when Paul started losing his hearing, the visits started again. Eventually, he stopped, mostly. You see, I had started sleeping with boys at school, and a queen should be saved only for her king. I had spoiled myself, so I was safe. But you weren't. That birthday, when it started, when I became a queen, was my 13th. And you were about to turn 13. I knew I had to do something. I planned it out. I didn't care what happened to me. I just needed to make you safe. It was late at night before your birthday, and I went looking for King, but I couldn't find him anywhere. The knife was sweaty in my hands. I went into your room. You were asleep on the right side of your bed. He was lying next to you, his pants around his ankles, his hand under your shirt. I froze. I couldn't do it. Immediately, I hid the knife and ran out of the room. I couldn't do it. I failed, so I told Paul. And the next day, King disappeared. After he was gone, I was a mess. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. I certainly couldn't look at you. You needed me the most, but every time I looked at you, I just saw failure. My failure to be your big sister. To step up when you needed me to. I burnt all the clothes King ever gave me, ever soiled, and then I left. I figured if I got my failure away from you, you might live a better life.
Why didn't you tell anyone?
Who would believe me? This kind of thing falls on deaf ears, but it's worse when it's coming from deaf mouths too. Izzy, I can't give you this house. It's too filled with pain. It reeks of failure. Mine, our parents, King. I will not pass that on to Joe.
So, what happened to King? Carl, Where did he go?
He didn't go anywhere.
What?
You're standing on top of him.
Ooh.
This room is a burial.
This room is a... You mean he's...
That's why Paul redid the floors. Some bloodstains never come out of wood, and a carpet wasn't enough with a new teenager in the house. Paul always thought ahead.
Why didn't you tell me? Why did you let me go on believing in King? I
had ruined your reality. You deserved a little fantasy. I never expect you to forgive me, Izzy.
I'm sorry what happened to you. I really am. But what happened to you doesn't change what you did to me. Trauma begets trauma. You needed to leave? Well, I needed you to stay. I needed a big sister, and all I got was silence.
If there is any love in your heart for me, don't give this house to Joe. We owe her a better world than anyone in our family has ever been given.
I'll rise like a phoenix, wing in my mouth. No one listened until now. My rain-covered phoenix, wondering how she burnt a forest to the ground. Freedom, freedom, freedom without you around. Freedom, yes, freedom. Freedom without making a sound. We'll fall like a phoenix, smoke all around, waiting to put the fire out.
and Grant Freeman, who is the playwright. And can you just give us, in a nutshell, what this play is about and what your intentions were in writing it?
Absolutely. First, thank you for having us. I started this project about 6 years ago when I was lucky enough to meet Jennifer and her father at an audition. And I knew immediately that I wanted to do a show for the deaf community. And so through a series of fortunate events, we were in a position where I was able to write a show. I have a long obsession with Greek theater and Greek tragedy, and so I wanted to do Sophocles' Antigone. But specifically what I wanted to do was talk about the two sisters involved. And so often when that piece is done, the character of Ismene, Izzy in our story, she is considered a coward. She's considered someone who doesn't step up for her sister. And so I wanted to do a retelling of that story where both characters are cowards, both characters are heroes, both characters are complicated, right? And so this is a retelling rather than a strict adaptation of Antigone. And our story is about two estranged sisters. Their brother Paul dies at the beginning of the show, and they come home to bury him. And they get into the secrets that have been buried, the secrets that are rising up to the top. And along with Jo, which is the daughter of Izzy, and we watch as a small community, in this case a family, is both infected and affected by the past.
Basically, there are two languages in this play, right? It's a bilingual play, and the actors are signing, but then you also have voice actors, and they are the audible voices, so it's not just for deaf audiences, it's also for hearing audiences. Everyone can appreciate it, but I would imagine as a director, there are lots of challenges involved. Tell us about some of those.
One of the challenges that I faced was trying to direct the deaf actors and the hearing actors at the same time. That was a big challenge.
Now you sign, let's
Yes.
clarify.
Yes.
So you have the advantage here.
I do. I am fluent in American Sign Language because I am a CODA, which is a child of deaf adults. So I grew up with deaf parents. I grew up with deaf culture. I know almost all of the ins and outs. I have that unique perspective. But I also have the unique perspective of the hearing world as well. And so when I'm focused on one language, I can't hear the other language. So even though I'm focused on my deaf actors, my voice actors are also talking, I can't hear them. So one thing that I would suggest is bringing in a voice director. So that's why I did ask Grant a couple nights a week to come in and just listen. Didn't have to watch the play, didn't have to do any of that, but I just wanted him to listen to the voices and make sure they're matching the expressions. That was the big, big challenge for me.
So with any play, there are challenges, right? But I think if people know that going in, I have to think that finding deaf actors, that's not easy, right? What are the resources that you used to find the actors that you needed to tell this story?
Here in Iowa, because the deaf population is getting older, it was very hard to find deaf actors. One of the deaf actors, Brenda, she reached out to me because she knew that I was involved with theater and I did a lot of theater interpreting, and she wanted to help out with that. And so I knew she would be a good resource. And so the only thing that we had to do was word of mouth. That is a great way of connecting with the deaf community. Going to their deaf clubs, going on their social media pages, putting out videos. That's how we got the word out to everybody. Yeah.
I think something that we forget a lot is we're all actors, you know, and we're all, if you have never acted, you're an actor in waiting. And we all have that potential of doing that. We're all storytellers in one way or another. Something happens in our day, we tell a story about it. And so I think what we really, something that's important to look at is deaf people who have a story to tell. You know, I think the best opportunity you have to tell your own story is when you're able to do it through the life of someone else when you're on stage. And so the more opportunities we have for deaf storytellers, deaf people, the more in which they might say, yes, I can do that as well. So we don't just have to look for deaf actors. We can look for anyone who's deaf who has a story inside of them.
True. That's the one thing when I was talking and reaching out to people, I didn't say, just deaf actors. I said any deaf people that are interested in being a part of this, wonderful new thing. And all of the people that reached out to me were brand new and they had never done it before, and they did amazing. And so this was a new community that brought them in and they loved it.
I found this piece to be very meaty. It's not a lightweight piece where there is, one representative deaf person in it. And as you said, it really fills the whole deaf culture too. Are you familiar with a deaf lifestyle? Why does it resonate with you?
I think one of the important things, so I did a lot of research doing this. I read a brilliant book called The Boys of Riverside, which is about an all-deaf football team. And that really helped me have a better, I watched a ton of YouTube of trying to go over deaf misconceptions about the community and about the culture. This is not a culture that I'm a part of. But the most important thing I learned as a writer and being part of the process with Jen is that we're part of the same community. This is one community. We might have different cultures, but we're the same community. And that's my favorite thing about theater in general. I think of, we spend so much time in community theater, and I am community first, theater second. And the great gift of this play is I specifically wanted to write a show that is for deaf actors, but not about being deaf. It's about being human. And I'm tired of seeing the same shows over and over again about different cultures that are entirely about overcoming something or about their culture in general. I wanted to have a show that celebrated being deaf while simultaneously dealing with major issues of depression and abuse and suicide and neglect that are happening every single day within the deaf community. But every time in which, a deaf piece comes out, it's about, well, this is how I learned to find my voice. Like I'll always remember when the movie Love, Simon came out, which was a movie that is for the queer community. And it's a movie that I found good enough, but I found it so inspiring because I was like, yes, queer cultures can also have mediocre love stories, right? They can just have the same thing that we do. We can go see that a speaking culture is able to go and see a story about, paying taxes. It doesn't have to be, and here's how we became ourselves. No. And I think that's the great gift of this. I wanted to be able to have a story that was about being human.
Yeah, and that was actually one of the first questions that Brenda asked me. Is this a story about a deaf person finding their voice, or sad about being deaf, or having to overcome being deaf? And I said, no, absolutely not. That is the one thing I told Grant I do not want, because deaf people have normal lives too. So the reason why she came on is because of this great story.
Right. It is a great story, and I know that you're really eager to share it. So talk to us a little bit about how someone else might be able to do this story and what your intention is in getting it out into the world.
So we've already been blessed to have a couple of different theater companies reach out to us that have interest in looking at the script. This is a project that was originally written specifically for these actors, but I'm excited for the opportunity that this could go much wider. We were lucky enough to be able to do this experience here at Brucemore. And so the video itself, this is something that we hope to send to not just deaf clubs here in Iowa, but throughout the entire country, and work with groups in New York and in Texas and in Montana and in Wisconsin and in places where we can get this out to them, because now we will have an actual copy. As for the script, I'm in the process of meeting with some of my fellow playwrights of trying to make sure that I can have it published. The number one thing that's important to me, though, is this is a show that is for deaf actors. I never want it to be performed otherwise. It is essential that that deaf actors and a CODA are able to be a part of this, as well as voice actors. But that's the place for that. I think of something brilliant like the musical Hamilton, which any time in which I see high schoolers being like, we should do this in high school, I'm like, no, you shouldn't. There's a reason this is a show that's a show about immigration. That's a show about a culture that is not white, and so this is a great opportunity to be able to do a show that is so specific to this culture and this community, and I want to make sure that it's always accessible for those actors and those storytellers.
Well, and I think that it's also an opportunity for a theater to not only do a new piece, but really branch out and challenge themselves and build their audience in a much different way. Mm-hmm. So, Grant, knowing this piece as well as you do, obviously, is this something that can be performed on all levels of theater?
Absolutely. It's definitely something that is available to all levels, but I specifically think of community theater first. I think of the small black box in the middle of Mechanicsville, Montana that I went to many years ago. Many years ago, I toured the country just looking at community theaters. And I watched, my favorite thing was learning about the community, right? That this is a perfect show that's about community outreach and how we can engage with a community that someone came here tonight and they asked a very vulnerable question. They talked about how they didn't realize that this community, this culture existed in Cedar Rapids, that existed in Iowa. And of course, lovely, somebody in the front was like, we're right here, right? And that's true. They are right here, right? They're a part of this community. And so that's the greatest gift of this, because truly great community theater is when you have the accountant and the lawyer and the scared freshman and everybody comes out of the woodworks to do community theater. And when you can do that, especially for a community that, if I said name a professional actor who's deaf, you could name one, two, three actors, but I know so many storytellers who are deaf. So this is a perfect opportunity to give some of these brilliant artists a place to shine. Everyone deserves their own time in the spotlight.
Well, certainly it made its debut not in a professional theater, right?
Exactly. To go off Grant's point, when we first performed this at Starlighters, I had so many people coming up to talk to me saying they had never even known that Starlighters existed. And Starlighters has been around for 50 years. Mm-hmm. So to just open that up to people who don't usually experience this type of theater and to bring them into such an intimate story and told in such a unique way, it was just really refreshing. And one other thing that I overlooked that a lot of deaf people came up to me about that we don't think about is that they were able to come to any night they wanted. They were able to sit anywhere they wanted. So they just felt really, really genuinely like they were part of the community.
I thought it was interesting tonight when we had a little talk back, and there was a woman who said how refreshing it was to be able to focus on the action and not watch a ping pong tournament back and forth like this, to have it translated, and how engrossing it was. And it was emotional for her.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I did it. When I started in theater, one of the things that was a really big struggle for me was that my parents couldn't come and see me. And so trying to open the doors of getting interpreters to come and work in the theaters. Me being a theater interpreter myself, I understand that we cannot catch everything. We're human. And just the constant battle of trying to catch what the interpreter's saying and catch the action on the stage, it can be exhausting. And so that is one of the big reasons I wanted to do this, is that they could just enjoy theater. And they did.
I think it's a great piece. Thank you for sharing it with us, and it's going to be fun to follow its trajectory and see where it goes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us live from the Artisan Studio at Brucemore. If you liked what you saw, please be sure to ring the bell, like, subscribe, and tell your friends about it.